I do believe we are at a major transition point in the history of the United States and probably of the whole world.
In this video, we dive deep into the insights of Richard Wolff, a prominent economist, as he unpacks the troubling state of capitalism in America.
Are we going to tell the American people, honestly, our empire is declining?
With decades of experience, he draws parallels between historical empires and the current economic landscape, highlighting the warning signs that indicate a looming collapse. All right, let's get into the good stuff. But first, a little housekeeping. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of the awesome content we have coming up. Introduction to America's economic system. America's economic system is built on capitalism. It's a system that promises freedom and opportunity. But is it really delivering? Many people are starting to question that. We live in a time where the gap between the rich and poor is wider than ever. It's a system that seems to favor the few over the many. Can we really call it a fair system when so many are struggling? The historical context of empires. To understand our current situation, we need to look back. History is filled with empires. Each one rises and falls, often leaving chaos behind. The American empire is no different. But what led to its rise? And what lessons can we learn from the past? Each empire had its own unique set of circumstances, but they all shared one thing in common: a cycle of growth followed by decline. Are we witnessing the beginning of the end for America's empire? The rise of the American empire. The United States emerged as a superpower after the fall of the British Empire. It was a remarkable transformation. From colonies to a leading nation in just a few centuries, the American dream became a symbol of hope. But what happens when that dream starts to fade? The post-World War II era saw unprecedented growth. But now that growth seems to be stalling. How did we get here? And what does it mean for the future? The Golden Age of Capitalism, 1870 to 1970. From 1870 to 1970, America experienced a golden age. Wages rose steadily and the economy thrived. People were optimistic about their futures. Everyone from factory workers to business owners saw improvements. But was this growth sustainable? It's easy to look back and romanticize that period. But were there warning signs that we ignored? As we enjoyed the fruits of capitalism, were we building a house of cards? The turning point, 1970. Then came 1970. This year marked a significant shift. Real wages stopped rising. The hope and prosperity that seemed endless began to dwindle. What changed? Many point to the economic policies of that era. But could it be that we were simply too naive to see the cracks forming? The American worker suddenly found themselves stuck. How did we go from thriving to merely surviving? The wage stagnation crisis. Wage stagnation became a reality for many Americans. The average worker today earns what they did decades ago. That's a staggering thought. How can a society thrive when its workers can't? The impact is widespread. Families are forced to rely on dual incomes just to make ends meet. And debt has become a way of life. But at what cost? Are we sacrificing our future for a fleeting sense of stability? The shift in family dynamics. Family life has changed dramatically over the decades. Once, many families thrived on a single income. Dads worked and moms stayed home to raise the kids. But now, that's a distant memory. Today, both parents often need to work just to keep their heads above water. How did we end up here? The shift began when real wages stagnated. As incomes stopped rising, families had to adapt. Dual incomes became a necessity, not a choice. But what does this mean for family dynamics? It's a lot of pressure. Kids are often left in the care of others. Parents juggle work and home life. The traditional family structure is under strain. Are we losing something important in the process? This change has also affected relationships. With both parents working, time together becomes scarce. Family dinners are replaced with quick meals on the go. How can we foster strong family bonds when everyone is so busy? It's a tough reality. The family unit is evolving, but at what cost? The rise of consumer debt. Consumer debt has surged over recent decades. It's a trend that's hard to ignore. The average household now carries more debt than ever before. Credit cards, loans, and mortgages are just the tip of the iceberg. How did we get here? In the 1970s, households had a lower debt-to-income ratio, but as wages stagnated, borrowing became the norm. People turned to credit to maintain their lifestyles. It's a slippery slope. We began to rely on debt to fill the gaps. But is this sustainable? Today, many families find themselves trapped in a cycle of debt. They borrow to pay off previous debts, creating a never-ending spiral. It's a precarious situation. How can we break free from this cycle? The answer isn't simple, but we must start asking the tough questions. The redistribution of wealth. Wealth inequality is more pronounced than ever. The rich are getting richer while the poor struggle to survive. It's a troubling trend that raises serious concerns. The top 1% hold a staggering amount of the nation's wealth. What does this mean for the average American? This redistribution of wealth isn't just a statistic. It affects real lives. Those at the bottom are left behind. They face limited opportunities and stagnant wages. Meanwhile, the wealthy accumulate more resources. How can a system thrive when so few hold the majority of the wealth? This inequality breeds resentment. It fuels social unrest. People are frustrated. They see the unfairness in a system that seems rigged. It begs the question, can capitalism survive when the majority feel excluded? The answers to these questions will shape our future. The impact of technology on labor. Technology has transformed the workforce. It has made us more productive, but at what cost? Many jobs have been automated, leaving workers behind. The rise of machines and AI is reshaping the job market. Will there be enough jobs for everyone in the future? As technology advances, the gap between skilled and unskilled workers widens. Those who can adapt thrive, while others are left struggling. It's a stark reality. Are we preparing our workforce for this new world? Education and training are crucial, but is it enough? Moreover, the benefits of increased productivity often don't reach the workers. Companies reap the rewards while wages remain stagnant. This creates a growing discontent among the workforce. How can we ensure that everyone benefits from technological advancements? The conversation needs to shift. The importance of rare earth metals. Rare earth metals are critical to modern technology. They're used in everything from smartphones to military applications. Yet the US is heavily reliant on imports. This raises significant national security concerns. How can we address this dependency? China currently dominates the market. They control a large portion of the global supply. This puts the US in a vulnerable position. We need to invest in domestic production. It's vital for both economic and security reasons. Can we shift our approach to rare earth mining? American tungsten is one example. It has the potential to reduce our reliance on foreign sources. This could reshape the industry and boost the economy. But will we take the necessary steps to make this happen? The future hangs in the balance. The future of capitalism and potential collapse. As we look ahead, the future of capitalism seems uncertain. Many are questioning its sustainability. The cracks are starting to show. Can a system that prioritizes profit over people survive in the long run? We face a choice. Do we continue down this path, or do we seek a new way forward? The potential for collapse is real, but it could also be an opportunity for change. What if we reimagined our economic system? There's a lot to consider. We need to ask ourselves tough questions. How do we create a fairer system? One that benefits everyone, not just the elite? The answers may not come easily, but they are essential for our collective future. If you're concerned about your financial security and are thinking about investing, check out the first link in the description. It's the platform I use, Interactive Brokers. Click the link to learn more. Want to learn more about investing? Like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for regular tips, tricks,